At this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in last place in the Central Division. After 15 games skated, they have a record of 5-10. They have 10 points on the season. They are 13 points behind the first place Dallas Stars, and their next opponent, the Chicago Blackhawks, is one spot above them in the standings. So the battle for last place in the Central is officially on Saturday afternoon at Bridgestone Arena. Let's talk about the Central Division before we get into the individual matchup against the Chicago Blackhawks. I mentioned the Dallas Stars being in first place after 15 games skated. That's the most in the division. Several of the teams in the division have skated 15 times now. 11-3-1 for 23 points. They are 5 points clear of second place Colorado. They've only played one more game than Colorado, but the Avalanche, who started the season red hot, have certainly not been as late. Avalanche are 9-5-0 and have 18 points. The Jets have 18 points. St. Louis has 17 points. Arizona in fifth place has 16 points. And then this is where you see the drop-off. Minnesota has 12. Chicago at 10. Nashville also at 10. For the Nashville Predators, their next game will take place on home ice, where they have a record of 3-4. The Chicago Blackhawks on the road have a record of 4-5. The Preds have scored 44, while the Blackhawks have scored 34. The Preds have given up 52, while the Blackhawks have given up 45. Goal differentials of -8 for Nashville, -11 for Chicago. It's the first of 4 regular season meetings between these two Central Division rivals. Next one that will take place will be December the 5th in Chicago, and then January the 2nd, Nashville will host Chicago for the second and final time of the regular season, and then on April the 12th, Preds will go into Chicago one last time and face off against the Blackhawks. Now, after the Preds are wrapped up with this Blackhawks game, Monday they will face off against Colorado, Wednesday versus Calgary, Friday at St. Louis. So Thanksgiving week will bring us 3 total games, and then reset the cycle on Sunday versus Winnipeg, and then the 28th of November versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Injury update for the Nashville Predators. We just got some good news on the injury front, then we get some terrible news. Luke Schenn is on injured reserve still. McDonough is still listed as day-to-day. And unfortunately, here's the update. Tommy Novak is now listed with an upper body injury, out 4 to 6 weeks. That is definitely going to hurt for the Nashville Predators because all he does is make plays for this Predators team. Now, let's talk about the Blackhawks briefly, and then we'll talk about the matchup and the NHL rankings, the numbers between these two teams. The individual stats will follow after that. In the most recent 5 for the Blackhawks on the 30th of October, it was an 8-1 loss at Arizona. On the 4th of November, it was a 5-2 win versus Florida. On the 5th of November, a 4-2 loss versus New Jersey. On the 9th of November, a 5-3 win at Tampa Bay. That's an impressive victory right there. And on the 12th, most recently, a 4-3 loss at Florida. This team will play on Thursday at home versus Tampa Bay. They've already played Tampa Bay once in their last 3 games. We'll update on Friday to have you fresh standing stats and analysis right there. But for now, Thursday is when the Blackhawks' next game will be. The Nashville Predators will not play again until Saturday when they host the Blackhawks. Take a look inside the numbers, the matchup, the rankings for these two teams. Let's start in the goals for category, and I'm going to just go ahead and prepare you. There's not a lot of very impressive or attractive looking statistics in this matchup. In the goals for category, the Preds are scoring 2.93 per game. That's 21st overall in the NHL, while the Blackhawks are scoring 2.62 per game. That is 27th in the NHL. So those numbers would indicate we're headed towards a low scoring game. Goals against category, the Preds are giving up 3.47. That's 24th in the NHL, while the Blackhawks are giving up 3.46. That's 23rd in the NHL. That number indicates we may have a high-scoring game. So we really don't know what we're getting into with these two teams. We do know that comparably, the statistics and the standings, they're evenly matched. So for the Predators, we may have finally found an opponent they can skate with while they're going through the funk that they are in. We left off on the shots for category. 30.7 for Nashville is 18th best in the league. In the shots for category for Chicago, 27 per game is 31st, next to last. Shots against, 29.7 for the Predators is 11th. It's the most attractive number on the entire matchup. Shots against category for Chicago, giving up 34.8, is 31st overall in the NHL's second consecutive statistical category, where the Blackhawks are next to last in the league. In the special teams department, this is not going to be pretty either. The power play for the Preds, 20.6% conversion rate, 16th overall, 13 out of 63. The Chicago Blackhawks power play is converting at 10.9%, 28th in the NHL, 5 out of 46. On the penalty kill, 70% kill rate for the Preds is 31st overall, 15 power play goals against. None of those numbers look good. The penalty kill for the Chicago Blackhawks, 79.6% kill rate. That's 14th best in the NHL. They've only given up 9 power play goals on the season. Now, listen, every team has a load of individual high-skilled players. It is the NHL level. Who I always like to talk about the top 5 individual scores on each team. I know a lot of people in Nashville excited for the first time to see Connor Bedard. So let's start on the Chicago Blackhawks side of things. And so far, Connor Bedard is off to a fine rookie season. 9 goals, 4 assists for 13 points. He's 4 points ahead of Luke Evangelista in the Calder scoring race. Perry is at 3-5 for 8. Everyone will enjoy booing him. Foligno, 2-6 for 8. Donato, 3-4 for 7. And Johnson, 4 goals, 2 assists for 6 points. Over on the Nashville Predators side of things, Philip Forsberg continues to lead the team in scoring with 7 goals and 11 assists for 18 points. 18 points in 15 games. He's increasing his points per game over the last week or so. O'Reilly, 8 goals and 6 assists for 14 total points. Tommy Novak on injured reserve next 4 to 6 weeks, but still has 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. The captain, Roman Josi, 3 goals and 8 assists for 11 points. And Luke Evangelista, I mentioned just a second ago because of the Calder scoring race, 1 goal, 8 assists for 9 total points in net. The anticipated matchup, and these numbers are just getting disappointing, and we will talk more about this. UC Saros, 4-9 on the season, 8.92 save percentage, at 3.23 goals against average. You know how I feel about those numbers. A save percentage below 9, goals against average above 3. Those are not NHL qualifying numbers at this point in time. UC Saros is a great NHL talent, but right now, his numbers are not NHL qualifying. And if he didn't have the history and the backtrack and the record that he has, he would probably be on his way to the minors for a conditioning assignment. In net for the Chicago Blackhawks, Peter Mrazek. We've seen him plenty of times in the past here in Nashville. 4-3-0 on the season, a 9.21 save percentage. See what I mean? Mrazek has a 9.21 save percentage for a team that has the same number of points as the Predators, while UC Saros is an 8.92 save percentage, 2.84 goals against average. All right, that's got you all set up for the matinee on Saturday afternoon between the Nashville Predators and the Blackhawks. Like I said, because the Blackhawks play on Thursday night, we will do an updated version of this opening segment on Friday, and we will make sure that we get you the latest information, standings, and statistics. That's easy enough for us to do here in the bunker. All right, that's got you set up. We've got to go back. You know, sometimes I don't want to, but we have to go back. We have to talk about the Anaheim Ducks game. It's called the Reverse Sports Full Game Recap, and it's coming up next on the Renegades Puck Podcast.